Coaches, Rick Stewart with AllAccessCoaching.com. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button down below so we can let you know when new content's been uploaded.
And we're going to talk a little outside zone option. And I'll just talk about kind of where this play came from and how it started. So initially, guys, just very simple. We wanted to find a way where we could get the ball pitched. Okay, so this is a double option. And essentially what we're doing here, if you look at a 50 defense, we're running outside zone up front. Okay, it all started with a odd front. We were running this versus a 50 defense. And basically what we're doing is the quarterback was going to pitch off a number 2. And if we just talk through our count systems real quick, the first down lineman from a 4-eye out, we call number 1. And the first person outside of number 1, we call number 2. So in this play, the quarterback is going to pitch off of number 2. All right. The first person outside of number 2 responsible for run support is number 3. So the A back is going to arc number 3 as drawn up here. Okay, so it's pretty simple. All right, up front, what we're going to do is we're going to zone the 4 technique to the backside linebacker, and we're going to put the fullback on the play side backer. Okay, now how we do this up front with the tackle is the tackle is going to take what we call a T-board step or a zone step, but essentially he's stepping over and up with his play side foot, so it would be his right foot. All right, and he is basically driving through through the outside half of the 4 technique. Okay, all right, the play side guard is going to turn his shoulders, and his aiming point is the outside peck of the 4 technique. Okay, so it's a simple concept. So if the 4 comes inside, the tackle would stay really tight to him. He would deliver him back to the guard. He would work up to the backside backer. The only way he would ever block this linebacker is if he were downhill and in his face, maybe some kind of C stunt. Okay, the guard is going to then, again, he's aiming for the outside peck. Maybe that's a little wide, but what I found is when I didn't tell them to go that wide, they didn't step flat enough, and we could get split here and get beat inside, and we never got leverage on them. Okay, so we're going to T-board with our outside foot at tackle. We're going to get our second step down. We're going to be really heavy through the outside half of the 4 technique. We're going to over block this or zone this. We're going to aim for the outside peck. If he comes inside, he's just going to lock on to him. Now, if this guy steps out, the tackle is going to fit him up, and this is going to expand, and the guard is going to then work up as he sees that 4 step away. The only way he would block the play side backer is if he were down in his face, but he's just kind of staying on track to the backside linebacker as well. Okay. We teach our fullback to read the play side tackle's block. So if he aims for the outside hip, if he sees this 4 go down inside, he's just going to stay on track, and he's going to find this play side linebacker. Okay. If this 4 technique steps out and this B gap opens up, the fullback is going to get back inside, and he's going to try to find the play side linebacker. Okay. So what our quarterback is doing is he's going to step off. He's going to let the fullback clear, and he's attacking down the line of scrimmage to number two, to get the ball pitched. Okay. Obviously, if the front slants this way, he's going to get the ball pitched. Okay. If the front expands, he is going to now plant his right foot, and he's going to get back down inside, and he's going to run the ball in the C gap. Okay, he's going to obviously follow the fullback. All right, a couple things at center is the center's job with this zone block here. He's got to protect the A gap. So he's going to step off a little wider than he would if we were running triple option here. He's going to kind of step over and up, but he's going to turn his toes a little bit, because if this linebacker popped, he's got to get his head across. Okay, and I've got some great illustrations of that if people are concerned about him being able to do that. Also, the other thing is if the nose runs with him, he's got to lock this nose up, okay, and just kind of tie him up. And if the nose goes weak, obviously he will tighten it back up for the backside linebacker. And since the center is going a little wider, we tell the backside guard that he can go a little flatter than what he normally would. Instead of being a 1-step decision on his scoop, we let him kind of make a 3-step decision here. All right, so we've got odd front here. We're in a 2x2 set. We do have a flex into the boundary. This is really not what I'm talking about, but one reason we'll do that sometimes is when we flex the backside, what a lot of people do is they'll cloud this, okay? And what happens is it slows down the backside safety if they're thinking maybe a cover 2 concept over here. So sometimes when we run the ball to the field, we will get in a flex alignment backside, maybe to kind of slow these guys up, okay? All right, but on this particular play, we go through our count system. This guy's number 1, this guy's number 2. The quarterback is going to pitch off of number 2. The A-back is going to arc run support. We always peek at the corner to see what he's going to do. I don't remember this play. If it's safety support, he would block him, and he would block the deep defender. If it's corner support, the A-back would block him to the field. We don't get a lot of that because that's too far for the safety to go to get over the top of that. Okay, so that's what we're going to do there. And then the fullback has got to figure this out, but he's got the play side linebacker, and he's just going to aim at the play side hip of the tackle. All right. I'll just run this back, and I'll do most of my talking from the end zone copy. So again, the quarterback's going to step off a little bit, let the fullback clear. He's down the line. We do have to start motion a little earlier. So if you look here, he gave him a hill. You got to get the A-back on the backside moving, okay, to get that ball dealt and to get him in pitch relationship. And we're going to zone the 4 technique to the backside backer. We're scooping. As you can tell, the center's a little wider than normal. All right, in the slot is arcing the safety. All right, got a pretty good play here. All right, from the end zone. All right, again, just so we know here, so we're going to pitch off of number 2. Okay. All right, the A is going to arc run support. He's going to peek at the corner always. The tackle is going to zone out. And he's really working the 4 technique to the backside linebacker. The guard is going to aim for the far pec. The center is going to go a little flatter in case we get anything in the A gap. Okay, and then the guard can go a little flatter as well. The other key to this is this guy can't go on the, down ready, set hike. He needs something to start him because he's got to get further out in case that ball's pitched early because the quarterback's pretty quick off of this. So he has got to, you can see when the ball's snapped, I mean, he's directly behind the guard. He's probably 3.5, 4 steps in to this before he gets going, okay? All right, pretty good track here. Now, the left tackle doesn't need to worry with that guy. And maybe he's just trying to fight through. You can see the guard aiming points the outside pec. The other thing is you can see the center's a little wider than normal. And he knows now that he's just got to tie that guy up. That ball is going to hopefully get outside of him. All right. Get the ball pitched, get a little bit of an arc block, and we get the ball on the perimeter. All right, I'm going to try to buzz through this and give you a couple looks of a couple things here. All right. Now, this is a little different. I'm going to show you this from the end zone. So we're still doing the same thing here. All right. We're pitching off number 2. Okay. We're going to arc the perimeter. All right. Now, a couple years ago, if this guy were to pop, we would tell the guard to tighten it up on him. Okay. But the problem with that is, they still could do this and they could still do this. Okay. So if we tell the guard to base block this guy, well, we could tell the tackle to base block this guy and step with your inside foot. But the problem is then, well, what if he steps out? Okay. Or we could tell the tackle to zone, but if he's base blocking, well, what if he steps in? So what we do now is we try to keep the zone on regardless. Okay. The only way we wouldn't if this guy was walked up in here and we have the center reach and cut this guy off. And I can show you an illustration of that at the end. I can pull it up. Okay. This was a little different. Like I said, now we would let the center handle that. Okay, we would have the tackle keep a zone on. What we were doing here is when he made a 2-eye call, they were just base. Okay, all right, this works fine. However you want to do it, and we can talk about that. Now, when this happened, the fullback should have been thinking right now, backside linebacker, backside linebacker, backside linebacker. That should have been the only thing going through his head. The fullback's reading the quarterback's reading the tackles block, so he's going to get downhill in the B gap. A pretty good scoop by the guard backside, and as you can tell, the center can get to that guy if he gets his hat a little flatter. So what we would like to do, and what we do now, is we would keep the zone on. He would aim for the outside peck. Once he sees him step away, he would tighten it up. He would work to the backside linebacker. We have the center get his hat across and cut this linebacker. We'd get our hat flat. And then the fullback would be an extra blocker, maybe for the backside safety or for the front side safety if he inserted. Right? Obviously, it's good when you got players that can make plays doing this stuff as well. All right. Here we go. So again, one more of these, and then we'll move on to kind of the next phase of this. All right. So again, we're going to pitch off of number 2. He's the first person outside of number 1. Again, number 1 is the 4 technique or the 4-eye out. We're going to pitch here. Okay, we're going to arc, run support. We always peek at the corner first in case we get a corner fire. Again, usually that doesn't happen from the, to the field. We're going to zone the 4 to the backside backer, and the fullback should be on the play side backer. All right, I'll show you this from the end zone. All right, so the tackle, probably should step a little wider. I don't know why he's so tight there. All right, the guard's turning it up. He's going to the backside linebacker. Sometimes this will happen. We tell the guard he doesn't want to mess with that play side linebacker unless he's down in his face. To me, the fullback is wrong here. The fullback should have stayed on the front side linebacker. Okay, we all got to be in unison here. All right, the fullback has the play side linebacker. And to me, with the guard zoning here, the play side backer never crosses his face, so he's going to always go backside. The fullback should have stayed front side here. Now, we got lucky, and that's one of those things you got to work. All right, but the quarterback is just reading the play side tackles block. The fullback is reading the play side tackles block. Okay, and if that thing stretches, okay, he's just going to get downhill in the B gap and follow that fullback. Okay, we would like our center does a pretty good job here. Our right guard ought to be peeking over his right shoulder. Okay, this is maybe a whole different discussion. But as we're scooping here, okay, as this nose goes away, we want the guard to turn up, okay, and check backside backer to the backside fold player. And to me, what a scoop is seal your play side gap to the backside backer. So we always want to look over our backside shoulder when we're scooping. As we're working down the field, we never want to look this way. Because in my opinion, all you're going to do is get in the way or you're going to clip somebody. You'll watch this right guard right here. Now look over your backside shoulder, your backside shoulder, your backside shoulder. That guy there that just made the tackle. Okay? Backside shoulder.
Coaches, Rick Stewart with allaccesscoaching.com. I really hope this video helps make you a better coach. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button down below so we can let you know when new content becomes available, because we're all about coaches helping coaches. And remember, coach, better today, never as good as tomorrow.